Well, folks, we're back. We've had a rough few days around here. Everybody's had the flu, kind of went through that. I'm kind of tired of sitting in the house, so I'm feeling better and feel like I'm going to do something to pass some time here a little bit. So, back on here, there's a bunch of things we haven't finished since the last round. So, I'd like to address those headlight stands. I never did make those brackets, so I want to do that. The running boards, I finished them up. This is how I decided to finish it. Well, I do see me drilling the screws at the end of that last video, all the holes. I've actually screwed the running boards down. They are like super strong. I know some folks think that's a weird look, and it honestly is, but it's what we're going with. There's no point extending the stake pocket any lower because it doesn't make sense. So I know some folks had that idea, which is, that'd be pretty okay, but you know, if you brought it down, I guess it would make sense, but then I can't get the running board off and it just would clean the look up. But you know what? For the beater that this thing is, it's going to be perfectly fine. Inside, I'm not sure how far I want to go here. I'm thinking what I want to do is get those headlight stands done. I'd like to address some of the interior. I think my glass should be in this week, and I'll be able to get the door and the front in. I'd like to get the heater permanently mounted, so I have that sound deadening insulation up there. So I think what I'm going to do is insulate the firewall, get that done, then I can mount the heater, and then we can figure a way to plumb it. I think I want to clock some of this stuff in there just so I can run either the hoses straight that way or just so they don't come around in front of the heater would be ideal. And then maybe get the floor permanently done. I might actually have some like Dynamat stuff. I don't know now. I don't remember where I would have used that. Oh, maybe in my truck. I probably used it all actually now that I think about it. If I had it, I'd probably use the crap out of it. Yeah. I only have this stuff, and I know I've showed you this before, but it's actually for under hood, but it's pretty thick. It's sticky on one side. It's got the foily bit on the other side. So, yeah, I find that stuff on Amazon. So, like I say, I plan to do at least the firewall with that. If I have stuff left over, I'll kind of stab it around other places in the cab, but I don't think I'll use it on the floor because it's kind of too soft. But, yeah, I'm kind of happy where we are with the floor, everything there. Once I get the heater all in properly, I can get this cluster in and it'll never have to come back out again. I don't know if I ever showed it, but I did get the heater switch, which is the original one, so it's actually in there and it does work and stuff. So that part's good. Yeah, getting there. So we'll base ourselves on a couple of those things first. What else do we want to do? I'm pretty happy how strong the fenders, everything all feel right now, but I might still zap up into the front here. Whether we stitch it hard or we actually just stitch it a little bit into there. You know, I'm mixed. There's not a lot of meat inside the bolt because I don't really know. Like I have a couple screws in there right now. I might have to like revisit and see how this goes. Because some of it's pretty cool and some of it there's a little bit of discrepancy, but maybe we'll drill and actually bolt it. I'd like to get the rad in too. That'd be kind of nice. So I don't know. Let's start with a few of those things. They're easy, they're small. We'll tackle little things right now. And then I gotta see if our little local upholstery shop hasn't fully closed yet, or our warehouse, or whatever you call it, where we buy some stuff. They were shutting down. I think it's called Jackson's. So hopefully I can grab a little bit of vinyl to figure out how to do these seats. That would be pretty awesome. I basically want to do like a fake leather kind of top and back for the seat. But anyways, first things first, let's make some headlight mounts, some proper headlight mounts, because right now they're just on the sheet metal and I feel the lights are going to go dancing all over the place on me. So, hey, let's get started. Things I did that you were watching, maybe. We made a simple brace, it's bolted up. We kind of zapped down to a bracket, which is fine, it'll stay with the chassis, but we can at least unbolt it, take fenders off if a feller had to. Made some lower braces. These are kind of hard welded on, so if we had to do that, a cut would be necessary, but not the end of the world. We took the fan off the motor, and I actually bolted the front end clip in. I was going to do some welding and stuff like that, but opted against it. So now we got a couple bolts in there. So this is good. These are solid. I think we're about to smash fenders back on, or wheels back on. There's only one thing I wanted to do, and I can't show you right now, but I want to actually slice this fender because I'm not happy with the opening from the hood to fender gap. I'll bring the truck down and I'll kind of show you what I mean. The other side's nice and tight, and the other one's got, you know, they should have a gap, but it's too big of a gap. So on this side, the hood's pretty good. If anything, it's actually too tight, but I don't know. I'm not going to really change that. That's okay to me. But this one, the front is okay when the hood's down. Like, this is probably about what the gap should be. But when I get back here, for me, it's a little too excessive because I can't get this hood to stay where it's supposed to go. So I think what I'm going to do is just cut this fender a little bit just to raise it up and close the gap. I'll just feel better once I have that done. You know, I could leave it, but that's too excessive for me. So yeah, but fortunately it's metal, and it's very easy to fix. So essentially, I think it might be easier to go from inside the fender well. I'm just going to do a slice along this weld, and somewhere probably around here, we'll just bring this up about half an inch or something, and then re-weld this, and no problem. Problem solved. At least I think so. Okie doke. After that, I think I'm gonna come in here. We're actually gonna mount our radiator. That would be nice. I keep forgetting about this belt. I gotta get this alternator belt out of the way. Get that figured out. But yeah, getting close. I'd like to do that plumbed, and like I say, get the heater in. That'd be pretty good. Okay, let's get started. All right, well, that's a much better gap. I'm pretty happy about that. So, next thing I gotta do is I'm gonna play with the rad. I wanna do that. I think that's about as far as I'm gonna get tonight. I don't know if I'll get it in. The plan is I am just gonna make a simple mount to hold this fan, because we gotta go electrics, because, well, we need to. The mechanical fan does not work. So, we'll probably keep it pretty simple. I think we'll mount it something like that. I was going to make a bracket and a tab for this side, but I don't feel it's very necessary. I think all we got to do is go up here. We can, you know, kind of scooch the fan over a little bit. We'll do some riv zerks, just put some spacers. I don't like it when the shroud's like rubbing on the core. I like to keep it just a little bit of breathing room away. So we'll shim this side. This side though, we'll weld something to the tang. essentially I had an old rad that I cut up. So it's got an angle, which is probably enough angle, I think. Yeah, it looks like it. It'd be enough. Give me just enough height. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bust these welds. I don't know that we need all of this. I might cut this. Actually, I might be able to just use this half instead of trying to cut that. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay. So this is what we're going to do. We'll take this to the big old bandsaw over there. And I'm just going to slice this edge off. And then stick it in the brake. That should break that. And then we'll go grab our little HTP TIG there. I'm comfortable using that long before I am the laser. I am not set up or know how that works. So we'll grab this bad boy and quickly stitch. I gotta rearrange my hoses. Anyways, we'll pull that up, cut that, bend it, stick it on the edge, stick some riv zerks in here, stick some riv zerks in there. We'll space that thing away, and then that'll get us ready for tomorrow to put it into the truck. All right, this is about as far as we got. Welded that up, and you know, we just stuck 2 bolts for a shim over there. I got this side of the rad bolted. I can't put it square in the rad because, well, it actually hits the water pump if this thing sat where it's supposed to go. So what we're gonna have to do, and I'm not doing it tonight, but tomorrow, because we got an electric water pump, it's not going to make any darn difference. The one in Esther's truck is actually mounted like way crooked. But anyways, this thing, we may as well make it comfortable if we got to do something here. So anyways, we got there. Tomorrow I'm going to go cut a plate that I can zap into here, and then we can bolt this thing up properly. We can still get our cap nice. This hose, I think we can just modify this one, or maybe I'm going to grab another one, but essentially this one's just got a schlank there. This one's a little more interesting. We'll have to come across and go to that side, but we can kind of puzzle something together there. That shouldn't be a big problem. I have ordered a water temp switch, so I don't have to think about turning this fan on and off. I could just wire it to a toggle. It could just be on a relay that when the key's on, it always runs. I kind of like if they can turn on and off personally, so I just got a kit. They were cheap. I think it was 26 bucks or something like that. So that'll get you a relay. That'll get you a temperature switch. So one of these that aren't getting of any use in here, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to put a new one in. And then we can just wire this properly with a relay and stuff. Anyways, that's about enough for me tonight. Tomorrow we'll hit it again. Hopefully I feel 100% and we'll just give her. All right, so rad is fully in. We got our upper lower hose. Lower hose I had the splice. I don't know if you can see, but we did a splice down there. I wasn't quite comfortable with it, so I actually made a bracket to hold the hose. I was worried that it might actually pull into the front pulley. I don't think it would have, but I just wanted to make sure there's a chance it couldn't happen. So the only thing left in the cooling system is to do the heater inside. I got to get some heater hose though. I don't have any. Well, I have some, but it's way too big. My heater hose slash whatever you want to call it, my hose pile is getting pretty small. I think I have some 3/4 inch, which is way too big for this. I think I need some like 5/8 or something. I have a little bit, but not very much. And there's two fairly long chunks. I don't know if they're going to be enough though. I doubt it. I really doubt it. I don't want to splice into that if I can avoid that. Inside the cab. Nah, I don't think there's enough. There might be enough for one. I don't know where this goes. That goes up there. That's got a long run. I don't know. I'm going to get a length of this. Can always use it somewhere else anyways. So that brings us to the inside. So I guess the next step, or what I'm going to focus on is, I'm going to take the heater out. That way I can get that insulation on the firewall. I'd love to poke the hoses through to get that sorted out. Because I can do it on the one side. It turns out there's plenty of room behind the motor, so I can probably just go around. I don't know if that'll make it really sucky down the road, but I can kind of come through the firewall right there. Is there a lot of stuff happening if I do that? Not really. I feel like I can come up through here. Won't affect our throttle. And then, yeah, I don't know. So we got one heater hose up here, and we got another one like down there. So this is where these are. They're pretty big, this. I know that thing's pretty small inside, but anyways, that all said and done, let's just get that out. Let's insulate. I'm just going to do the upper part of the firewall because I guess I'll figure out what I'm going to do on the bottom after. Yeah, we're going to have to actually weld this floor down too at some point. I have to do a little bore exhaust work here, so I'll probably take it out for a last time, do that exhaust work, and then that thing will be able to get cooked into place. And then, yeah, put the heater back in. Sounds pretty simple. I guess I should stop putting it off and actually do it. All right, our success has been some light on here. We got our gauges are in, and I got everything working, blinkers and all. Like, well, I had two we were missing. Got those, so that's done. We got the firewall insulated. I just have to clean up this glove box area. This glove box is door's kind of messed up. It's been like welded on and stuff. But kind of tweaking and stuff, I can kind of semi-close it, even though it doesn't do anything right now anyways, so eventually I'll do something, but for now, anyways, we got our heaters in, that's in. We gotta do some tidying up with some wires here and figure out, I guess it needs a tensioner or something for that vent to work, otherwise that's just gonna be really annoying. But we've kind of insulated up everywhere. Still gotta do up into this corner over here. We've done it on the other side. But anyways, the plan I got to do is get this valve turned around, and I think I'm going to try to run the hoses through here. We'll open those up. I'll try to get like we'll double hose it or whatever, but I think I can get a nice little swank. If not, we'll figure something else out. But coming down here, I was actually thinking about it. Since I have the floor off, I gotta do the e-brakes anyways, so I'm gonna go dig around the yard. I'm thinking I'm gonna go find a yank handle, so it'll be kind of like it was stock-ish. I'd like to build a bracket, whether it comes off the back of the transmission here, something where it can hold a yank handle, and that way I can get that in before we actually fasten the floor down. Would be pretty awesome. And kill two birds with one stone. Kind of the e-brake, everything's down here, which is very easy because they're just like straight pull cables, so it'll have a straight pull. So if I can get a handle to go down here and just kind of repurpose this thing, and give a yank on the cables, I think will be pretty cherry. So that's turned into my, I've kind of segued. Now I gotta get an e-brake done. We need that for inspection. I know there's always lots of people always ask about inspections. And like up here, just basically all your basic stuff. Your brakes have to be good. There can't be any holes going into the cab. You have to have everything sealed up. Depends on the shop. Some of them are fussy about like the rust on the outside. Like you can't have anything on the rockers anywhere. Basically what it is they're worried about is exhaust fumes getting into the car. Your lights have to all work. Your emergency brakes, your brakes have to be in spec. The older cars have some, they're a little lenient on some things like the bumpers, things like that. But it's, I don't know, it's just basic stuff. Your vehicle has to be safe, I guess. Like, it makes sense. Anyways, I'm gonna go dig around in the shed because I think I have, what you call it, a couple like pull handles. I don't know if they're Model A. I have to see. But as long as it's there with the ratchety bit, I should be able to make everything else work. I honestly wish I actually had the one out of my Model A, my Roadster, because it's got the wrong handle in there. And I don't know why that bothers me, but it should have like a one with a button on it. Mine's got the grabby one, which is like the old Chevys. So I think that's what that thing's supposed to have, but I don't really know. I think I found the perfect one. This is exactly what I was looking for. We got this with the bits. We got a handle, which is actually pretty awesome too, because it's got an adjustment. I think this came off of an International too, actually, now that I think about it. I wonder if it's from like my big International. Maybe. Not sure. But I think that'll look good beside the shifter. All I gotta do now is actually find an old shift handle, which reminds me, I think I can steal the one from Ryder's truck, because I think we're ripping the motor and tranny out of there, but that one was a floor shifter, so I'll be able to grab that. All right, here's where my shopping trip yielded me around the yard. We got a shifter, which I don't really know how. Well, I know how. I just got to see how it's going to work with the transmission and my seat and stuff, so we're going to hold off on that. But I want to get this thing in. So this thing, here's your basic mounting. Let's see how this goes. I wonder if this thing, spring or something, needs a little bit of adjustment here. Anyways, blah blah blah. I just want to make a mount for it. Will come off, oh, I guess if it can come further back actually, which is good, back and down. I'm going to make a mount off the side of the transmission to which we can bolt this thing on. And yeah, I don't know, it should work nice. It'll look the part. It'll look the part and it'll work. Well, it'll work when I make it work. Okay, let's the best way to tackle this is to hit it right off these bolts, and then I don't know if we'll come off, make something go off of there, or maybe we just make something off the trans cross member. Maybe that's a better way to do it. That way I can just burn something onto here. Oh yeah, that's a way better way. Okay, new plan. Okay, let's fab something to hold this that we can just cook to the cross member, and done deal. Well, this is not the prettiest of jobs, but I decided just to boog a bracket onto the transmission cross member, so whatever. We can still get the tranny out. This would just come with the cross. It's like a piece with the cross member now, but in the end it works, other than my one e-brake cable is stuck and I can't get it loose on the driver's side. But principle works. Kind of have one side, but we got to do a whole different jimmy rig with the cable after. But it tugs. One side holds. Yeah. So now what we got to do is, well, hey, I got to clean the floor out here. Get all this stuff off of here. I don't know if I actually want to bolt the floor down. It's kind of convenient being able to do this, to do stuff. So I might just screw the floor down. But we're going to have to modify the opening just so that I can get this new thing through the floor there. So, which means I got to cut another hole in there. I might make a bigger hole than necessary, and then we can make a screw down plate, just because it'll be easier to get this on and off if the hole's a wee bit bigger. I don't have to go too crazy, because if you kind of just do the math on it, it just comes off the edge of the shifter. I made the hole so tight to go around this part that I just got to schwank it past there a little bit and do a little loop. I might be able to pull it off. We'll see. I don't know. I'm not very good at that, so my chances of getting that right are pretty slim, but we'll give it a shot. What did we all do though? Basically, I just used a stock e-brake. I just had some angle. We welded it onto there. I actually welded this bracket onto here. Not the best thing to do, but just because all we got to do is take 2 bolts off, and we can take this thing apart to service it. It's not really that big of a deal. So I kind of did this to try to get everything below the e-brake, or sorry, below the drive shaft, everything, but I'm gonna have to put a hoop in the cross member for the cable on the driver's side, because it'll be good, but it's too I'm not very comfortable where it sits to the drive shaft. It's mostly right close to the yoke, so we might have to force it to go down and go. You know, I think some of the factory trucks had like a loop. I don't know. I'll probably just do like a chain link and let it have to pull through that, but we'll see. We'll see. But I need to get an e-brake cable first, so let's at least finish this up, get that floor done, get it in there, and then I guess I can look at some stuff. I want to go to town in the next day or two, see if I can find some vinyl and some foam so I can actually build these seats. This bottom, I think, is wood already, so that part is easy. I want to get rid of the springs. I'm just going to keep the base. That way I can just do a nice foam top. We can wrap it in vinyl, staple it. It's good. I want to get wood and redo the back piece. Somewhere it's here. I don't know where it is now. Anyway, somewhere I have the back springy part, and I want to put a piece of wood in there with foam again, so I can kind of do it the way it is, and we can, I can take it in and out as I need. Okay, let's get the floor part in. Well, that wasn't too bad. So what did we get done? Doesn't seem like a lot. We got the rad in, so that's good. We have it plumbed. I have to get heater hoses to figure all that out yet. But the floor is in permanently, so that part is done. We sealed it. I let it dry before I put some more of that sound deadening insulation in. Well, I guess I can do that little piece in there yet. I still got to tidy some wires, so I should just do that right away. Figure out that squeaky mess. Did get a handbrake in, so that's cool. Although this boot is no good, so we'll have to figure something out there, but gotta do that. Unfortunately, it's not like fully functional yet till I get an e-brake cable for the passenger side. Shifter, well, yeah, I don't know. Everything's in-ish. It's not quite in. Man, I still have to look at that steering wheel. I gotta get rid of that looseness in there. May do that later, but so our dash is all together. That is done. I don't know. I don't really have a checklist going, but there's not too much. There's not really too much stuff left. Well, in my eyes, we still have a lot, but overall, as the project, it's actually getting near the end, really, for what I want out of it. Yeah. Progress. Anyways, folks, I'm thinking that is where we are going to leave this one. Hopefully my glass will be in next round, so I'll be able to do the windshield and do all that stuff. So anyways, as always, folks, I want to thank you all for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.